For my day of tablet testing, I was going back to school. And I packed 3 of the latest full-size tablet releases in my school bag. Here at the ESA Academy in Bolton, every student is issued with their very own tablet. They use it throughout the school day for lessons, for their homework, and even to email their teachers after hours. So there's surely no better place to give 3 of the latest tablets a thorough examination. The Microsoft Surface 2 is the tech giant's latest Windows tablet. It comes in 32 or 64 gig models with an integrated kickstand and the option of keyboard covers. The Asus Transformer Pad is one of the latest high-end Android tablets. With a high-resolution IPS display, it now comes with the previously optional click-in keyboard dock as standard. And finally, Apple's 5th-generation full-sized iPad, the Air. Now 28% lighter and 20% thinner than its predecessor, it's powered by Apple's new 64-bit A7 processor. I'd be looking at each tablet's usability, touchscreen display and camera function. First up, usability, in my first English class for 35 years.
Good morning, class. You are going to be investigating what 1912 looked like from different perspectives.
The Edwardian period.
My fellow pupils and I had to research and write 3 mini essays, all using our tablets. I began using the Surface 2 and the optional type cover.
The combination of the stand and the keyboard makes it practically like a laptop to use. It's pretty good in this situation. Are you ever tempted to get an external keyboard?
I would prefer a keyboard.
It'd be more practical.
And for me, it was a pretty smooth working experience, though the operating system might prove limited in the long run.
Now, this Windows RT is Windows 8, but not quite. You do get a version of Office, but you can't run most desktop applications.
Next, I moved on to the Asus Transformer Pad, also with its attachable keyboard.
The great advantage of this is you've got a battery in both, so it gives you up to about 17 hours of claimed battery life, which could be very useful.
But I didn't find the Android file system or the bundled Polaris Office app particularly intuitive to use. Finally, I moved on to the iPad Air.
Air, good.
And things started to look up.
Right, real factory worker.
And though additional keyboards are available for the iPad, I was happy enough with the touchscreen.
Selecting text, copying it, pasting it, switching between applications, just all feels designed for a touch interface, whereas the others seem to be all a bit of a compromise. You finished ages ago, presumably. Yeah.
So, with my essays submitted, I was hoping for top marks.
John, some great work, but maybe it's time to work on your punctuation slightly.
Really? Oh, gosh.
Maybe I'd fare better in my next class, art.
Oh,
Hello,
what
sorry
time
I'm
to call
late.
us, John?
I'm sorry I'm late, yes.
Yes.
We were using art and design apps, giving me a chance to try out each tablet's HD touchscreen. The Surface 2 has a fairly limited choice of apps on the Windows Store, and the display didn't get top marks either.
It is a lower resolution than the iPad's Retina display, or indeed the Asus, and I think you might find that a bit of a problem if you are seriously using it for art.
The Asus has a wider choice of apps via the Play Store and the highest resolution display of all our tablets.
What do you think of the quality of the colours on the different screens?
Yeah, I think on the Asus it's much more vibrant.
I'm not certain, though. It's quite so sensitive to the touch, which could be a bit irritating if you were doing a lot of drawing.
The iPad Air has the greatest range of apps to try, many of which are optimised for use on that 9.7-inch screen.
I like the Retina display, I like the naturalness of the colours, the detail, and the screen is very touch-sensitive. It's excellent. If only I were an artist.
So the iPad just edged it in my display test.
John, please don't forget that homework.
Time for my final test of the day in science class. This provided a great opportunity to compare each tablet's camera capabilities, as the students were engrossed in a colourful experiment to extract DNA from fruit.
The cameras on the Surface have some quite interesting features. It's got a sophisticated panorama mode, it's got a 3.5 megapixel forward-facing camera, and a rewind feature. When you take a still, there's also lots of stills recorded before and after, so if you think you've missed somebody's expression, you could find, hopefully, the one you want.
Both front and rear cameras also shoot 1080p video, so an impressive package all in. How did the Asus compare?
The Asus has a 5-megapixel rear-facing camera, 1.2 megapixel front-facing one, and a few sort of intriguing features I'm keen to try.
The rear camera allows you to shoot HD video and take stills simultaneously.
Smile.
And there's a turbo burst mode for those who fear missing the crucial moment.
That's the one I want, definitely.
The iPad Air also has a burst mode. In general, though, its camera spec hasn't really changed much from its predecessor.
1.2 megapixel front-facing camera, 5 megapixel rear. And again, the theme is simplicity rather than lots and lots of settings you can change.
Both stills and video came out pretty well on the iPad, but overall I think the Surface 2 just about edges it when it comes to camera quality. Before I was done for the day, I had a chance to ask these tech-loving students which tablet they like the look of best.
I'd like you to vote for your favourites using your tablets.
And though the Surface 2 had turned a few heads, there was soon an outright favourite.
So the clear winner with over half the votes is the iPad Air.
But which tablet had been my teacher's pet overall? Time for the G ratings. It's 3 Gs for the Microsoft Surface 2. Its hybrid design functions well for work, but limited apps and that Windows RT operating system just let it down. It's also 3 Gs for the Asus Transformer Pad. It has a great screen and a useful keyboard, but it's not as intuitive a tablet experience as I'd hoped. And it's 5 Gs for the iPad Air. Noticeably lighter and sleeker, it did everything well. And to my mind, the iPad is still top of the class when it comes to full-size tablets.